There has been a lot of debate with gun control stuff, right? We have a lot of mass shootings that are continually normalized. Here recently, there's been, was it like 5 mass shootings? Just in the last week alone, 5 or 6 in the last week alone. And it's barely been reported on. It's a blip in the news cycle, and then it's gone. But there has been some progress. Very little, but some progress. I found this on BBC, of course. I did not see this pop up in our United States mainstream media, so I'm going to show you this. U.S. bans bump stock gun device used in mass shootings. The Trump administration has banned the use of bump stocks, devices that let rifles fire like machine guns, after promising to do so earlier this year. The final date to destroy or turn in the devices is March 21st, said White House press secretary. The push to ban bump stocks followed deadly mass shootings in Las Vegas and Parkland. Pro-gun advocates have said they are prepared to fight the rule in court. Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker signed the new regulation on Tuesday, and it is expected to be published in the Federal Register on Friday. Bump stocks, or slide-fire adapters, allow semi-automatic rifles to fire at a high rate, similar to a machine gun, but can be obtained without the extensive background checks required of purchasing automatic weapons. So let's automatic weapons you can only buy with like background checks, supposedly, right? Not like there's a black market for that or anything. But these bump stocks allow a person to go buy a rifle without extensive background checks, and then they put this bump stock on the rifle so it fires like an automatic weapon. So this is good news. This is good news. This is something that's overlooked. There is some progress this is very little progress, but still it's something. Of course, they are fighting it already. The NRA is pissed off about it. As you saw, pro-gun advocates are pissed off about it. They even actually, they're going to court for this. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of Republicans watching this and a lot of Second Amendment advocates. Now, I gotta tell you something. I'm from Texas. I grew up in, well, half of my childhood was like Louisiana. I did a lot of hunting. I understand guns, okay? Guns for going hunting, right? These things are fine. But the Second Amendment was made a very, very long time ago. Like, so long ago that you had to, like, put in your own bullets, do the thing, and then shoot, right? It wasn't bullet, 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 bullet. It was one bullet per shot. The Second Amendment needs to be updated for the technology we have now. Back when they wrote the Second Amendment, they did not have bump stocks. They did not have these automatic weapons. I understand that if you're a farmer or someone who likes to hunt, you should have the right to have a gun. Or if you're a single woman living on your own, you should have a handgun, right? I get these things. But what I'm saying is the Second Amendment needs to be updated to include this stuff. You should, like, no one should be able to go buy a rifle without a background check and then be like, oh, well, I'm just going to get this bump stock and it's going to be automatic. I'm going to completely bypass the automatic weapon thing. That's, come on. At one point, will common sense, like, just take over? Right. Ugh. Okay. Well, we're going to go back to the article because there's more on this. Let's see. Las Vegas gunman Stephen Paddock used a bump stock to fire rapidly into the crowd, killing 58 last year. Following the Vegas shooting, lawmakers began discussing a ban on the devices. Bump stocks were not used in the Parkland attack, but it did reignite the gun control debate. So let's see. Shortly after Trump directed the Department of Justice to look into changing regulations so that bump stocks would be classified as machine guns, which are legal to possess in most cases. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives had previously ruled that bump stocks did not qualify as machine guns and thus would not be regulated. So the Gun Owners of America lobby issued a statement on Tuesday saying they have prepared a lawsuit against the ATF and the Justice Department on behalf of the 500,000 bump stock owners forced to part with their valuable property. Agencies are not free to rewrite laws under the guise of interpretation of a statute, especially where the law's meaning is clear, said Eric Pratt, Exec Director of Gun Owners of America. The National Rifle Association, which had called for a review of bump stock devices after the Las Vegas shooting, said they were disappointed with the new ban. Okay, so they called for a review of bump stock devices after Vegas, and now they backpedaled and said no, they're disappointed with the ban. How typical. The NRA spokesperson said the government should offer amnesty to current owners. So that's that. And so what are bump stocks? Relatively difficult for civilians to buy new, fully automatic weapons, which reload automatically and fire continuously as long as the trigger is depressed. Bump stocks harness a rifle's recoil. They replace the weapon's stock, which is held against the shoulder, and allow the rest of the rifle to slide back and forward with every shot despite having no mechanical parts or springs. The motion makes the trigger collide with or bump the shooter's finger as long as they apply pressure with the non-shooting hand and rearward pressure with the shooting hand. So that's the latest update on basic gun control in the United States. Or the United Corporations of America, because let's face it, we are corporate and quite fascist as fuck. Actually, last night I was talking to some of my childhood friends about how fascist we are as a country, and most people think we're at like fascist level 6, but we're actually fascist level 8, and there's about 10 levels of fascism. And I think I'm going to do a live video on that, not tonight, because I already have some stuff laid out for y'all, but we're a lot fascist than we think we are, and we have been for a long time.